With that, Front Office Insights are presented by Sage. We welcome in the general manager for the two-time defending World Series champion Dodgers. They lead the NL West by 8.5. Brandon Gomes is back with us now. Brandon, it's Brian Kenny. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, BK.
I'm always characterizing your season and your roster and where you guys are at. How would you characterize, it's your club, your season?
Yeah, I think, you look at our overall record, we're in a good place right now. I think the biggest thing is as we continue to get our team back and our pitching back in a good place that, somewhat similar to last year, hopefully we really play strong baseball down the stretch that helps us carry into a deep October run. So I think overall solid, but probably not as good as we're capable of playing as of now.
Right. It seems like you guys could be bigger and badder, actually. Roki Sasaki, blister last night. How is he? What does this mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see how he comes in today and kind of reevaluate. But, the blister things are funky because you never know how much it's going to affect things. And obviously being, the very last thing that's touching the ball, it can really hurt command. So we'll see how he comes in today and then continue to evaluate from there.
I know you're ramping back up Shohei Ohtani to pitch. I'm just wondering now, if you're looking ahead, how would you utilize or how are you planning to use Shohei Ohtani in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is taking it, day by day, outing by outing with Show. I think, we try to put normal pitching parameters around him, and I think it's quite foolish. So we have to, talk to him, continue to communicate because there is nobody else doing what he's doing. So
right.
Kind of see how he's feeling and progressing, and then anything that we can get from him is additive. And then to go along with what we feel like is a really strong starting staff, pitching staff in general around him. So, we'll see what the next couple of weeks hold and then go from there.
All right. He was so good, part of it, too. Is it, given that he is hitting, would you stay away from him pitching late in games more? Say you have limited innings, would be more of an opener rather than toward the back end, or is the back end open, too?
I think ideally it's always going to be on the front end. That way you don't have to mess around with the DH and get into complicated situations like that. So ideally that's it. I think we're, as you get deeper in the postseason, hopefully if things come up, we know that Shohei will do anything to help us win. So if that's the case and we have to do it, then it's on the table, I'm sure. But certainly far from ideal. Okay.
Edwin Diaz is on the IL, had surgery, clearly struggling. Where is he? When is he coming back?
He's been working really hard with our pitching group, Mark and Connor McGinnis, to get his delivery back in play. Dealt with the trapped nerve thing coming out of Colorado. So he's feeling good physically and, working hard on his delivery, getting the consistency of his slider back. So he's in a good place. We'll get him another bullpen probably this weekend and live BPs and then go from there.
Okay, so you're very specific there. The delivery, slider. All right, good. So your club is state-of-the-art in game planning and performance maximizing. You guys are very good at it. So now you have Diaz, who's coming back. He's great. Kyle Tucker, high-level player. He was great. He's struggling. How do you approach a guy who is clearly struggling like you have Kyle Tucker now?
Yeah, I think it's, showing them, hey, here's what we feel like is going on right now. What are your thoughts? Because obviously there's a feel versus a real thing. And, something that has worked in the past may not be the case now, or we can go and use a cue from earlier in their career. So I think it's kind of showing them the differences that we see, getting their thoughts on how they want to work through it, and then, try to present solutions and be very solution-based on trying to get guys back on track and really get into their true talent level. Because I think with both of these guys, both Diaz and Tuck, we're not there, but we know that there's still great players in there.
Right. Brandon, we had Joe Madden on. We have him on every week, right? So we had Joe. You smile. Good. Because we had Joe on and said, what do you do? You have a guy who's so talented, struggling. He almost said, it's almost like a Rocky movie. He goes, I want to go back to his high school coach, his Legion coach, whoever it is. Have him running in the snow again. How does a guy fight? How do you bifurcate that between, performance maximizing and just, emotional, spiritual confidence?
Yeah, I think that's, coaching is an art. And I think that's, incumbent upon our guys to get in there and continue to try to find different ways to get through to the player. And, Joe and our staff are similar in the ways like they're going to keep it really positive and make sure that you feel like a world beater when you get out there, because you can't have any self-doubt, whether it's in the box or on the mound. So I think a lot of it is like, hey, let's work on some mechanics, let's work on these things. But when you get out there, go compete and know that you're one of the best in the game. And I think that's, the best thing that you can do for players.
Right. I just love that. Find his high school coach. Find his junior high coach. Get Little League there. Mookie Betts, all right? He's a superstar. He made a great play again last night. Team guy. Any thought that playing shortstop, it's a demanding position? I've asked this from the very start, Brandon, but that affects his offense.
No, I don't think so. I think, what I think with Mook is, we kind of saw the weight loss last year, and we've seen flashes of Mookie being great in the box this year. I do think in general, shortstop is going to be taxing, but I think this guy puts in the work to have his body go through it and be able to handle it. So I think, a change of position is not why you're seeing a slight downtick in what Mookie's capable of. And I think he's continuing to show, what's in there. And right around the same time last year, he really picked it up. So we're expecting that as well this year.
Fair enough. I can think differently, but I'm watching him, the little clip that we showed, like defensively. He's so smart. He will get it done. Whatever needs to get done, he figures out and he'll do clutch plays, understanding. He's amazing. Tarik Skubal, your thoughts on him coming to you? And I've said it, he's been quite good. He's borderline great. You expect great. How do you go to a guy who's that established and try to maximize?
I think it's really fun getting to be around Tarik and watching how he goes about his business. It is incredibly methodical. He's an amazing worker, awesome clubhouse presence. And, watching him work in the pen, it's like very thoughtful, short, to the point, like executing what he needs to execute, and then it's done. And there's no, no wasted time on the mound, no inefficient throws. It's just go out there and get your work in, and then trust. I think he's a guy that's fun to watch because he's really trusting the work that he puts in the process that goes into it, and just letting his compete and talent take over when he gets on the mound.
All right, one last thing. As a two-time champion, looking to make it 3, and that's very rare in this game, where is it on the scale of it's fun, it's a blast, and it's more difficult than you imagine? What is it like?
I think it's a day-to-day. It's always fun. Now, the definition of fun can change, but the nightly stakes are what is so will bring so much enjoyment to the role. As a former player, that's what you're doing. You're playing because you love to compete and you love the adrenaline rush. And there's an adrenaline rush that comes with getting walked off too, unfortunately, and we're all probably a little sick in the head with that. But the obsession as an organization, our players, our coaches, front office, with being great and continuing to try to maximize our players and be as good as we can nightly. We have really high expectations, and with that can come highs and lows. But it is, the nightly stakes are really fun. And winning's more fun than losing. So, that's kind of where you end up.
All right. Have you written a book yet? You haven't written a book yet, right?
No. Absolutely not.
I have a title for your book. The definition of fun can change. Right.
Yes,
That's no doubt. Dan is cracking up right now. 15 years as a general manager. You realize that too, right? Oh, it's fun, kids. The definition of fun can change. That is tremendous. Brandon, again, terrific always watching your club, your class organization. Good luck rest of the way.